Hello everyone. This is take like number 19, I believe. And I was doing really good with my last one, and my battery went dead. So I'm starting all over again and I finished up the one I was going to show you how to do for the perfect applique was this little owl. And Bethany did this one yesterday, Sunday. And now this particular lady wanted 3 for her granddaughters. And we're doing she wanted a unicorn, an owl, and then a flamingo. So I'm going to show you how to do a perfect applique with a flamingo. Now, the supplies you will need to do an applique, of course, is you need fabric. This little flamingo is going to be polka dotted. And you will need school glue, the glue sticks. I use these from the Dollar Tree. You get 8 in a pack for $1. They will not gum up your needle. They will not hurt your machine in any way. They will dry, and when your project is washed, you don't have to wash it before you use it. But as it's used, as my mother used to say, this will wear off, and you will not even notice that this has been used, even when it's new. So I recommend this. Elmer's has some, but all the Elmer's I have found is purple. It says it dries clear, but I don't trust that. And it's kind of expensive, more expensive than this. These are, 8 for $1 is 12.5 cents per tube. And I have these. These will last me for the rest of this embroidery season. I'm not going to buy any more until I'm out, because I don't want 1 or 2 or 10 to get lost in the shuffle and it get too hard. So I want to use these up. Now, even though the glue stick, I don't care what kind you buy, there's not much glue on here. So in the course of a day, we may go through 3 of these, but it's a very good aid in doing a perfect applique. I have had trials and tribulations this week of all kinds. Namely, my phone, which I use to record. And I was going to record, I was recording a video on how to transfer your pictures to your fabric, and, how to use your fabric to add your pictures to your quilt. And I looked, and my camera had went off, and I thought, oh yeah, I forgot. I have got no memory in order to make a video. So I called AT&T, and I was on the phone with them for like 2 hours, and wound up wiping my phone back to factory settings. And I just can't tell you what a big pain in the butt that was. But I've got it all, I reckon, straightened back out now. So we're good. But I had some tears and some frustrations, and I have been having this knuckle right here, this very small penny size area right here is literally throbbing. I reckon I've got arthritis in it. It's been bothering me for a couple of weeks, but it's really bothering me tonight. And I think it's swelled. But anyway, and it's odd to me that it's on my right hand, because I'm extremely left-handed. We'll need a selection of threads. I'm not going to be using any of these threads on this design. You would match your threads with your design. This particular applique that we're going to do only has 1 tack down. It's the legs and the beak and all of that is embroidery. So this will be a good simple one to show you how to do this. So we have our fabric. These are the 2. The lady has got 3, and this is her owl, and we're going to do a flamingo, and she will be ready to package up and ship. Now, I use my large frame for just almost probably 99.99% of the time. It's awful nasty, and this nastiness and I can clean this when I have time with that Gooby Gone or Whoops or whatever you can find to remove stuff like this, because this has gotten hard. It looks nasty, but it's not really nasty. It's just a lot of thread, a lot of residue. I used to use the Heat Bond Light spray. I do not buy that anymore. That is extremely expensive. And if you do a lot of embroidery, it will not last you but a few days, and it's like $18 a can, a small can. And this is what you get, is a nasty, gunky embroidery frame. Haven't bought any of that in probably a year and a half. My frame looks weird right now. But I'm going to tell you, I just took the owl off of here, and I'm going to clean off this frame by removing the tearaway stabilizer. Now, this has nothing to do, what I'm going to tell you right now has nothing to do with making a perfect applique. This is a money-saving tip that I'm about to give you. I order all of my stabilizers through Amazon. I order cutaway and tearaway. And I accidentally ordered some 10-inch stabilizer one day, which will not fit. It's too small for this frame. It's okay for 5x7. Even if we do a 5x7 design, we float it on this large frame. It's just easier, and this is just the one we use many times per week. And I have cooped up. I've got this tip from Lisa Cape and Quilts on YouTube, and I don't agree with a lot of the way she does things. Seems like she goes a long way around to accomplish something that would be a lot quicker just to go and do it, and it seems like she makes things a little more complicated sometimes, but I have learned a few things from her. I do have a lot of interest, and I do watch a lot of YouTube. I may not pay attention to every word they say, but it's just kind of company, because I'm out of my shop by myself many hours a week, and I'll just set my phone up on my sewing machine and listen to somebody give instructions, and I have, like I said, many interest. If I were 30 years younger, I'd be making quilts all day and making soap at night, because I love the soap making videos. Love. But I can't do all of that and everything else I have to do, so I have to really dedicate myself to sticking with what I do. But anyway, we have hooped up some heavy cutaway stabilizer, and I used my rotary cutter, and I cut an X out of the center, and then I took my scissors and trimmed it off. It's about 1/2 inch on the sides, and on the ends it's about 1 inch or more, a little more. Depends on what size of your applique that you're going to do, or embroidery you're going to do. But when we do this way, we will use this same setup for probably a week. And then eventually something wears out, or we need to hoop up just straight tearaway because the design fits the whole thing, or whatever. And so I don't use a lot of cutaway stabilizer, especially on quilts and things like that, because it doesn't leave them pretty to look at, because you can see that white stabilizer, or the shadow of it, from the front of the quilt. And actually, when you quilt a quilt that's got an applique on it, that stabilizes it. So don't use a lot of cutaway, because we don't do a lot of shirts. We don't do a lot of things like that, so we don't use a lot of cutaway. But I accidentally ordered some 10-inch tearaway, and after I ordered it, it has come, it's too small for the frames, but it's become useful in so many ways that it's a staple in my shop now. My husband has built me some paper towel style hangers hanging from the ceiling, and we have the 10-inch cutaway above my sewing machine. Above the cutting table, we have a 12-inch tearaway, and above the applique table, we have a 12-inch cutaway. So those are the 3 staple stabilizers that we use all the time. And so this is the 10-inch, and I've cut off a length of it to fit this frame. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our school glue, and we're going to paint around the edges here just a little bit. And then we are going to, you don't realize how bad that hurts until you're using it and a pain shoots up your arm. I've never had pain. I've had leg pain, back pain, all that, but for it to be concentrated right here in this small area, it is rough business. Anyway, we're going to put our stabilizer down on top of that school glue, and we're going to kind of rub it and use the warmth of our hands to get it nice and sealed on there. You can also take this to your iron and put your iron on here. Won't hurt your iron. and kind of dry that glue a little bit. It'll be nice, but this will work right here to get it stuck down good. You don't want to cut your sides down, your cutaway down so small that your tearaway doesn't have something to adhere to real well, because a lot of times I've had it to come loose down on the end down here, and that does not fare well on the embroidery machine. I've got my design uploaded on my machine. I've got it rotated so that we can do it upside down, and I will not take you through the machine, but after I do the outline stitch, I will come back and show you how to do this. Now, first of all, take our project, and it's another pink. I think this woman must have 3 little granddaughters, and one of them likes flamingos, and one likes owls, and one likes unicorns. So we use this corner right here. It's just the one we consistently use. And I'm going to take my big handy dandy pin cushion that I made. I can't tell you how handy this big old sucker has been. Hard to lose that. And Bethany and I have a hard time keeping up with a pin cushion. I don't use many pins. I don't use pins when I make quilts at all, but for stabilizing stuff and floating things like this, we use quite a few pins. And try to stick your pins into the cutaway, because tearaway don't like it. They do not like you to stick pins in the tearaway. It does not hold up well. Come on, pin. Come through there. I know I was supposed to have gotten this video out about 3 days ago, but ongoing saga with my father-in-law. It's just my husband and his sister. It's not like there's 4 or 5 brothers and sisters to work with, because although typically in most families you may have 4 or 5 kids and you got 1 or 2 that does all the work. So anyway, it's just my husband and his sister, and we're having to get things ready so that when he comes out of rehab, we can have somebody there with him. And oh, that come through good. Got me in the thumb. And he's got an apartment on his property that we had to clean out Sunday to get ready for this nurse, this retired nurse that's going to come and live on the property with him. And this way she'll have her own space. And if we go over there and stay with him, like on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, she can go over to the apartment and have some alone time and do what she wants to do, or go visit her family or kids or whatever. But anyway, we had to clean out that apartment Sunday, and it was a nice day for it. It was not cold. It was not hot. We got that cleaned out. It's just been constantly, the last several days, it's been something. So I'm finally getting this video out, long story short. All right, I'll be right back after I do the tack down, the outline stitch, and I will show you how to put your fabric on here. And this applique is going to lay nice and flat, no puckers, no bubbles in your applique, a nice flat applique. This will also work on your shirts, anything that you applique, you can do this to. Okay, we're back after the outline stitch, and he had to do his little naughty legs first. Got little knots in his knees there. That's cute. I did the outline stitch in a dark green so that you could see it. All right, just like we taught our children to color, we are going to color inside of this outline stitch lightly. Doesn't take much. And we're going to stay inside the lines, because this does hold down really well. So you don't want to get outside the lines. It makes it harder to trim your fabric, trim your applique once it is done. That's all there is to it right there. Just putting down a little bit of the school glue stick, and then taking our fabric, and don't even have to iron the fabric. I mean, if it's really, really, really wrinkled, I'd probably hit it with an iron. Or even at this point, once you get that down, you can hit it with an iron then, and it will be nice and flat. Okay, I'm going to go back and do the tack down and come back and for the trim and show you how nice and flat this is. And then I'll come back and show you the final results. Okay, we're back for the trim. I did the tack down in white. I'm going to go back and applique this in a dark pink. But I usually typically use whatever's on the machine. And these are not my good scissors. Those scissors wear out. And I have to keep a nice new pair. See, that is a lot better right there. And I like these scissors. A lot of people like the duckbill, and I've got some of those. I've got some of the duckbill scissors. I do not like these. Simply because you have to stick your fingers in the holes. I like these spring action because it's not comfortable for me to put my fingers in those holes. And this little spring action is really good for people who have got arthritis. It does have the curved blade on it, and it works. I highly recommend these small, and they're not but about $12. Those duckbill scissors like that, I think I paid about $25 or $30 for those, and I never use them. Never use them. We always use these here at my shop. My little dogs are running amok outside right now. They stay in the bed with my daughter all day because she works night shift. She don't get up till about 3 o'clock, and they don't get out of her room until then. And then I like to let them run around. They're well trained. Well, they've got their little butts spanked for going to the road because we live on 4-lane, and they've gotten their little butts spanked for going to the road, so they don't go to the road anymore, and they just run around outside and play and chase cats and squirrels and whatever else they can find, skunks and armadillos or whatever they can find. And then when I go back in, they'll be good and wore out and ready to go back to bed to sleep for another 15 hours. We're going to be going out of town this weekend, so one of my daughter's friends, she'll line up somebody to come by here and let them out, feed them, water them, let them run around and play for a little while, and then take them back into the house. They'll do that a couple times a day while we're gone. We'll be gone for like 48 hours. Something like that. We go down to my daughter's for Thanksgiving, have a good time, and come back wore out. All right, we have a nice flat applique tack down. So rest of this bird is embroidery, and I will come back and show you the final results. Okay, we are all done, which is very rare for a brother multi-needle machine to have a jump stitch, but this had a jump stitch from the end of his nose to her little blue eye. But here we have a perfect flat, nice flat, no pleats or bubbles or anything like that applique. We'll pull it off of here. And we'll remove the tearaway. You can hit this with an iron if you want to. I'm not going to. It's perfect the way it is, and I'm going to put it into a mailer and get it sent off to my customer probably Thursday. And then we have our frame, and it is ready for its next job, and it'll be ready to go. We usually use this. Here's a few layers, and I don't mind keeping a few layers of the tearaway on here. It kind of strengthens the cutaway a little bit around the edges, but eventually when you remove all of this, it will eventually start tearing the cutaway, and that's when it's time to replace your window here, your embroidery window. It usually lasts, like I said, we embroider on it multiple times. I know when Lisa Capin Quilts, she said that she uses it about 6 or 7 times. We've used it 20 or 30 times at least, if not more than that. There's no point in changing it until there's a reason to change it. And right now it's still holding up real well. There's no tears in it or bad places in it. So we'll hoop this. I'll hoop this up again in a few minutes and put something else on there. I think it's about late bedtime right now. And I want to get this posted so that you can start trying my technique. It takes a 12.5 cent. If you do applique, you have everything you need, maybe except for this. Don't buy the Heat Bond Light Spray. It's a mess. As you can see on my hoops here, it is a mess. And also, overspray gets on your cutting table, or it gets into things you don't want to get into, and it's expensive. So, probably $1 worth of these. No, 50 cents worth of these will last as long as 1 can of the Heat and Bond Light spray, and that's about $18 a can. Now, I do like Heat and Bond Light in the iron-on. I use it a lot. But the spray, I have not bought that spray in a very long time. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope I didn't go on too much and get off subject. It appears to annoy some folks. But I can't help that. Can't please everybody. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will do another video in a couple of days when I think I find something, I have come across something that would benefit someone, then I'll make a video on that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and make a comment, any question you'd like to comment, or just make a statement, whatever you want to do, and hit that subscribe button. That really helps me out. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.